Is this bitch recording?
This is for Rachel. I'm excited. Okay. Okay, girl. Welcome. This is officially our first episode of Pani Pocha. Okay.
I'm so proud of this name.
Me too.
How you doing, girl?
She's doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, girl. Let's get started.
All right, let's get started. So the first topic that we have selected to discuss, suggested by none other than Miss You, okay, question is, what have been some of your mistakes or some things that you've been wrong about in your past life?
What have I, pretty
or
much.
something that you've learned from your past mistakes.
Yeah.
Or things
What was I wrong about?
Yeah. So I'm going to be honest, I didn't really fully understand the question.
I feel like it's so broad.
It's like super broad. So you know what? I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
Then
so my concerns are the opposite. I feel like I have way too much stuff.
That's perfect.
Okay.
We have
where do I even start, girl? Okay.
Okay.
I think overall, I would say one of the things, like generally, I think when you're a kid anyway, everything seems to be black and white for you, right? Things like everything is like is very clear in a way, and even if you feel like you don't understand anything, you feel like somebody does. So that's its own kind of security.
You're gonna have to explain that to me.
मतलब जैसे आप बच्चे होते हो ना, तो इस वक्त आपको you obviously you know you don't know everything, right? You know you're stupid, like somewhat. Yeah. But you think like, okay, everybody else, your teachers, your parents, they know everything.
Yeah.
Right? So this the security, okay, even if you don't know everything, someone else does. So we got this shit figured out. But I feel like as you grow older, but you realize that nobody knows anything. We're all सब पानी का पोछा लगा रहे हैं.
चलो ये अच्छा है हमने नाम तो एक्सप्लेन कर दिया ये नाम कहाँ से आया
Basically that's where I feel like everything comes in. I feel like my like I was watching this thing, it was a video about Plato's Republic, right? And it talks about reality and the concept of reality, and he explains reality in terms of, he tells the story of three people in a cave, and all that they see are shadows reflect
on the wall,
of people, from the
back.
back, and to them what they see, like the shadows, are what reality is. And until one person goes out in the world, and then they, like that person sees what those shadows were actually, they were actually like carts or whatever they were, right? And then he comes back and he explains it to the other inmates, and
they ain't having it.
Yeah, they get girl, their edges snatched, girl.
they're like, girl, stop crying. That's not a pain. Okay.
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Okay. So और वो बेचारा, उसकी तो आंखें भी चली गई ना, क्योंकि ये this is what life is. This is what life is. रोशनी से उसकी आंखें भी चली गई. तो कुछ भी उसको हासिल नहीं हुआ. But basically, obviously reality is transformed for him, right? That's what life has been for me also, I think. And so usme, I think pehli cheez to for me was like this idea of success, right? Success is like, like we were told, I mean, for me, I think at least it was this thing where मुझे बचपन में कम से कम ये बताया गया था कि आप पढ़ोगे, right? और वो पढ़ाई की जितनी आप मेहनत पढ़ाई में करोगे, उतनी मेहनत आपको बाद में नहीं करनी पड़ेगी, which is literally not true. Like, can we get real for a second? That's not true. मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने जब वो पढ़ाई छोड़ी, it's like the hard work was at one point was like ये पढ़ो and like do things, and then the hard thing was figuring shit out.
Yeah.
Right? It transformed suddenly. And all my goals, I feel like, were at some point, it sounds funny, but they were monetary goals.
Of course,
they were superficial goals.
And then that's what you see, right? That's what your parents do. That's what you see what the grown-ups do. That is what you have to do. You kind of have to make money.
Yeah, growing up, just and my parents didn't have money growing up, right? So, and then they earned money, and that for them was was very central in a way to their life, right? Earning money, and that was
I think it's
success for
this,
them.
yeah, I think it's the same for my mom.
Yeah.
Like you can see, like, you know, when she started earning her money and when my dad started earning his money, it was like, oh my God, finally. And then they were like, this is so super important. Anyway, back to you. What were you saying?
And then so it starts. I feel like I teeter-totter between these two things of like, okay, money is not important and it's so important and it's not important because like
for sure, for sure. For me, it's also like sometimes I'm like this Malibu Barbie that's got to make all the money and have the nice
yeah,
cars and have the nice house and you want to work for it.
because I
And then
think
sometimes you're like, and
it
sometimes you're
takes
like,
certain privilege. It takes certain privilege to think that money is not important, right? It is this kind of privilege
of
to
course,
think that money is
when
not
you grow
important.
up with money, you don't think it's
Yeah,
important.
you don't think it's
Yeah.
important when you grew up with money.
Yeah.
So I feel like I realized at one point that no, money is important, but like
Yeah.
just to sustain yourself. And but that like मुझे shocking ये बात लगी कि money if like as a goal in life, it's a very unsettling thing. Like because not money is never enough. Like not you can't.
What exactly is the goal with money?
Yeah, कि आपने इतने ले लिए फिर और ये like ना मैंने तो कुछ कमाया नहीं वैसे let's get real for a second. ऐसा नहीं
मेरे
कि
तो
मैंने
मनी अब बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट हो गया मेरे तो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट हो गया मनी because मेरे पास तो कुछ भी नहीं है.
So yeah, that's one of the things. But now I'm like in that like zone of okay, what is actually important, right?
So do
Because
you
I mean
think
like
that from like part of the things that you were wrong about before to now it's like your concept of success has changed, you're saying?
key part of it like is like like why am I doing this? Why do I do this? Why do I wake up? कि पैसे कि मतलब पैसे कमा भी लूंगा तो क्या ही कर लूंगा पैसे कमाना भी is like like is
हाँ
that
क्यों
it? That's what I think. Is that it?
और क्यों कमाऊं मैं?
हाँ क्यों कमाऊं? Also like growing up obviously superficialness was a big thing. Let's do like for me, superficialness was a big thing. Everything had to be like flowers and shiny and ye aur wo. And like goals were like a kapde khareed lenge, kya kar lenge, maybe. And then like ab
Have a
mujhe, I
nice
don't know.
fancy house.
Yeah, like and now I'm just like, do I even want those things?
For me, sometimes I do think I do. I do think I want those things. How do I think that I've been wrong in trying to achieve those things, or I don't think the problem, my issue with this situation is do I think I was wrong or do I think I was right? Because at one point I did want these things and I thought that
Yeah,
was the goal. And there was a point where that something somewhere in the 20s when I actually had to start working for those things. Then I
yeah.
was like, maybe I don't want them. Because
Do you think it's because it was hard? That's why you felt
I
like
think
ye to nahi
so.
hai. Mama this ain't it. Okay.
I think so.
Maybe.
I was very
ये तो
like,
बहुत मुश्किल है. Let's find another
ये
goal,
तो इतनी
another hobby.
मेहनत करनी पड़ती है मुझे नहीं करना. I was very-
Do you
I
really
think
think
so.
that's it though?
I feel like no. I think to a certain extent yes.
मुझे
मुझे
कभी
अपने लिए
कभार ये
लगता है. I don't know
लगता
about you.
है.
Like for me, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's really true for me. Although I do definitely think it because like with chaska mil gaya in a way where I don't think I ever wanted it so much wealth that I'd be swimming in it kind of a thing. Like what you remember DuckTales?
Oh
That head girl.
yes, ये तो मेरा बचपन का ख्वाब था. For me, I was swimming in everything. I swam in
And
burgers
then you
also, by
think,
the way.
and what?
Burger.
Burgers? Because you like to eat them.
I just wanted to have like a huge, big, like swimming pool of burgers.
Mama, that's smelly. No.
Whatever it was,
Imagine the smell. And
I
imagine
was,
that वो जो gold coins can be swim करे. That's gotta be painful, girl.
that's gotta be super painful, yeah.
like you get coins stuck God knows where also. Anyway, so like that's never been a goal for me. But I think now I'm just like money for me is this thing where like I need money to fulfill my dreams, which I don't know what they are. If that makes sense.
Right,
Like
right, right,
money is a
right, right.
tool. It's not the goal. It's a tool to achieve your goal. So
Okay.
yeah. So I feel like it's shifted in that way. So why did you come up with something?
Slut shaming.
Yes. Girl, guilty as charged.
I have done that quite a lot. and I feel really, really bad about it. Like, and I think I remember who changed my mind with this. I think it was Amber Rose Slut Walk actually.
Okay.
Which I saw just a little bit of, like थोड़ी
Hmm.
बहुत मैंने clips ही देखी थी उसकी, and for me I was like, oh my god, I have been this kid in like high school and middle school, especially in A levels. I remember it was so easy for me to slut shame girls, and then afterwards I saw the slut walk and all these things, and I was like, oh, बहुत बड़ी गलती हो गई. And I think अभी भी also I do think that my eye for, I mean, I don't want to toot my own, but not my eye for misogyny or my eye for how and for sexism is now a little bit more keen. But पहले तो it was very easy for me to be like,
Yeah.
that slut in high school, like that slut in high school. It was such a common thing. So I think one of the biggest things that I was wrong for, and for me, the things that I thought of, the things that I've been wrong in were things that I thought that had affected somebody, like many, like, or had maybe had an adverse effect on somebody else's life. So the
Yeah.
kind of things that I used to say or things I used to do, like gossiping and spreading gossip, or being very irresponsible with the things that I would say to random people, or like just like fleeting remarks about, like passing remarks about somebody, on how somebody looks or how somebody acts, and not really caring about who else is in that situation. ठीक है, मैंने जिस situation में कहा था, but that situation with that guy that we're not going to name, जिसने बोला था that
I
you
know, girl.
said
I
that
know what you
thing.
talk about.
Like you said that thing, but you said it that way, but other people thought that you had said it in a mean way, and they also jumped into it, and I didn't even know them. So those are some of the things that I've done, like been very irresponsible with the words that I use. And I think that that's something that I've tried to work on. Not really, but try.
Yeah. For me, it's like a judgmentalness thing also. Like not
Yeah.
just, I feel like, okay, basically generally my views of sex have changed so much over time. Like okay, naturally it happens to everybody. Like growing
I
up,
guess.
obviously you think
Yeah.
sex is gross, then you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, and then you're
You're like,
like,
hi.
and then, hi. And then you're like, I think part of slut shaming probably comes from some jealousy also.
Maybe.
And मेरा तो view on slut shaming has, I think, highly been influenced because I think later on in life some people thought I was a slut. So मुझे इसलिए लगता है कि मेरा view of slut shaming has been really affected by it. But like I totally get the thing about judgmentalism, and I feel like, I mean, it's somewhat, it's like about, like, like especially superficial things were so important when you were growing up, not distinctions based on in just some way to figure out okay, how am I better than this person, right? But whatever that is, like, like most of the time it was basically कि ये पेंडू है, मैं पेंडू नहीं हूँ, right? Which I feel the worst about, to be honest.
I
Because
have
that
to
was,
agree.
because that was my next thing was कि I feel like growing up, I don't know why that was. I mean, I have some reasons to think, some causes to believe कि उसमें कुछ emotional reasons क्या थे to feel like, I mean, I was slightly embarrassed, I want to say, or not proud of where I came from, like my culture, you could say.
Yeah.
Maybe I felt like it was very, Little Mermaid area, okay, like मैं तो कहीं, I belong to some other places, and I want to be part of that world, not this world.
Yeah.
Until you
I get
realize that you're
it.
not part of that world either.
You were always part of that world, and you will be. No, तो ये मेरे साथ, and I think we're both in that same place where we just
Yeah,
like moved out of Pakistan, and now we're
yeah.
like living somewhere else.
अब तो मुझे पेंडू चीजों की true appreciation है.
I want to go back. Girl, आज क्या हुआ मेरे साथ? I was sitting in my room, और मुझे एकदम से बाहर चीखने की आवाज आई ना. मैंने कहा ये कौन चीखे मार रहा है? कोई दोबारा कोई बंदा पागल हो गया ना. मैंने वो खिड़की पूरी खोली, और गर्ल जो पंजाबी गालियों की आवाज आई है मेरे कमरे में, मेरी सांस में सांस आई,
सुकून आ गया.
जान में जान, सुकून मिल गया मुझे. I'm not even joking. I recorded it on my phone and then I sent it to Hamna. I was like, ये
जैसे
देखो आज
कहते
क्या हुआ.
ठंड पै गई
तड़कले जब ठंड पै गई
but do you want to give us some highlights, girl?
There was a lot of like तेरी बहन भी तो तेरी माँ ने तेरी बहन
was they just randomly saying it to the
The thing
air
is,
or what?
no, he was talking to somebody on the phone.
Okay.
The only reason I could hear it was because the doors of his balcony were open और वो बिल्कुल like
Oh,
सामने
okay.
से नीचे वाली में, so I
Okay.
could hear everything. तो मैं
तो
तो
तुमने भी
बाहर
देसी
निकला.
हरकत की ना eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping मैं करना चाहते भी मेरी eavesdropping हो रही थी. मैंने कहा फिर सही से सुन नहीं लो क्या हो रहा है. वो तो फिर उसने मैंने कहा इतनी आवाज आ रही है तो ठीक से सुन लो. खैर I tried to understand but it was all in such like fluent Punjabi कि मुझे ठीक से actually समझ भी नहीं आया. But पैन नु मान तो समझ आ ही जाता है. There was a lot of there's a lot of other stuff also there which I'm not going to repeat. But I was like बहुत मजा आया. मैंने कहा ये I was missing this.
जान आ गई.
जान आ गई. तो खैर
No,
हाँ,
but
so
it's
taking it back to the point कि हाँ वो the पेंडुनेस हाँ वो आपको याद आती है. और मेरा भी exactly situation थी where I got here and I tried very hard to differentiate. वहाँ पे आप इतना नहीं करते जितना आप यहाँ पे करते हो. So
yeah.
that's happened for me. Like I have tried to disassociate myself from the other Pakistani in this country. You know, कि अच्छा, oh, I'm not like them. I'm not like them. I'm a different kind of Pakistani. You know, I'm like not that Pakistani. And I feel
What
so
kind of Pakistani is that?
the Pendu Pakistani.
Okay. I feel like especially like as artists, there's this other thing on top of it. Like I think because it's interesting because I think I started my actual artistic journey in Canada at first, right? So my education was also completely westernized in a way. Not that Pakistan jaake changed, it was also still westernized, but they still had more references. So it started off that way, and I remember certain people, obviously they were all from different countries over there, and this girl, she says to me, okay, we were talking about what you're going to do after school. And so she mentioned to me, okay, oh, you could design for like, Bollywood and stuff like that. And like and I was like, what does she think I'm all about? Like, she thinks कि मेरे लिए तो बस like a, like a थप्पड़ के क्या इसने मेरे पे ये just stamp लगा दिए कि I was obviously, I mean, also you can analyze that as being slightly racist because she's like, okay, but just because he's basically something for Bollywood. But I took it like very like, क्यों मैं क्यों करूँ married करना I'm very sophisticated because I have a very refined palette
with like Dior and stuff.
Yeah, Dior is my thing. मैं क्यों करूँ देसी चीजें and
No,
then Pakistan जाके फिर on top of that it's like you want to set yourself apart, right? There's that thing also. So you feel like बाकी सारे देसी कर रहे हैं या यहाँ सारों को देसी reference है तो मैं तो I go the opposite route. So
in Pakistan it's a little bit complex because वहाँ पे तो all the Western stuff is on a pedestal also, right? So you're like
that's
more
what I'm
keen
saying.
to you're more keen to kind of absorb it and be like, oh yeah, this is better. But when you come here, you're just like, you're already being put into that box, and also you kind of miss that whole vibe also. And then obviously the guilt of like, why am I trying? और यहाँ के जब आप try करते हो to be a part of this life, you're like, I don't want to be that person, that's like trying too hard.
Yeah, and your identity is kind of confused, right? If you, I think aesthetically, again, especially but I mean, depends on what you're doing, obviously, but you obviously put some part of yourself in it. And if you're not taking such an important part of yourself into your work, I think it's kind of like imposterish in a way.
Yeah.
And you can never do, obviously, I may be wrong, but like, this is the other thing कि अभी जो हम सब कुछ कह रहे हैं 2 साल बाद हम सुने और कहें कि ये क्या बकवास थी
पानी का पोचा girl.
But like I feel like if you're like not taking such an important part of yourself into your work, you're being an imposter, right? You can never do something that's not natural to you as well. And I feel like that's something I've definitely learned. Okay, like that, especially from an aesthetic point of view, South Asian culture is so rich.
You can't escape it.
Unfortunately, I think it hasn't been worked on in a unconventional way, in my opinion.
Sorry, go ahead.
And it hasn't evolved, which is why I feel like I'm not I wasn't inspired before, but now I think so much of the things that I want to do now are very like focused on how can I take parts of my identity from where I'm from and make
Mm.
them, interesting, but like what appears to be interesting to me.
I also think okay, when you're over there, one of the reasons why you disassociate from that society is because you're already told, or you're always told also, no, that you're not part of that society. Like,
Yeah,
oh, you're like, okay, maybe you're like a little upper middle class, or you speak English, or you're that. You already start to pick in on these like codes that start to tell you, oh my God, okay, like this is not my vibe. Like Pakistan is not my vibe, and then obviously you pick things up also, right? Like your parents and your teachers also have they put you learn taste. Like people always
yeah,
tell you, okay, okay, this is Pendu and this is not Pendu, and you learn it also. And then when you start to like certain things and then you start to like Western things, you're like, okay, that's more my vibe, so let's go there. And when you finally
yeah.
come here, you're like, nope.
पेंडू ही
No.
सही था.
That's not my thing.
I feel like we should reclaim the word paindu.
I feel like we should.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, even with
Pendu,
like,
Desi,
ek मुझे
local.
एक और as a queer person, I think when you're desi, the Pendu thing also has this thing, like when you're like, okay, लोग खुसरा समझेंगे ना अगर Pendu, right? That's what it is also, is it not? Come on, like part of my concern was
Yeah.
कि like कि वो ज़्यादा देसी होना शुरू करोगे तो उसमें वो जो है
Vibe आ जाएगी इसमें.
but I feel like it's self-hatred in a way also, right? Because like
हाँ.
obviously all of it is self-hatred, but I think part of it. I remember when I was in PIFT, so वहाँ पे one of the other students, she actually her collection was inspired by Khwaja Siraz. And it's so like it's so cringeworthy, right? And it's so cringy, girl. So we had a photo shoot afterwards with all the with the clothes that we made. उसके
Hmm.
जब कपड़े model ने पहने, obviously it was a cisgender girl who wore it.
Hmm.
I still remember the teacher they had a normal photo shoot
Hmm.
first. And
Hmm.
then the teacher asked like, अच्छा अब जरा देसी pose करो ना क्योंकि like it's ख्वाजा से inspired कि हाथ रखो अब chin के ऊपर देखो पिरांदा use करो. It's like and it was like ताली मारने की कोशिश करो. And I was just like, oh my
Oh
God.
my God, that's
I
so
was just like,
cringy. I would have died.
and that has this like that's the thing to me. There's this image that I feel like if you're if you're gay or you're desi, yeah, if you're like any type of queer umbrella mein thing, and you're kind of really desi, it kind of gives you like you're more of a caricature. I feel for people. Like,
And
because you
also,
already had the queer thing, which is caricatured, and then you're also desi, so you're gonna be more of a target. If you're gay and sophisticated, people are scared of you.
really?
I think so. People are scared of you if you're desi and if you're sophisticated and gay or queer. I feel like people are just scared of you. They find it like this almost sad, but people feel like you're unapproachable or unreachable, right?
Hmm.
They think
You're
you're
like of a
operating from.
certain class.
They also think they're okay. They'll give you some sort of license to behave that way because they're like, oh, no, uska he works through or they work through a different framework, right?
Ah,
Or
ये
other maybe these gender rules don't
नहीं
apply. It's like
हाँ.
वैसे ही वो out ही है.
इसका
But if
दिमाग
you're
कहीं और है.
but if you're very desi and queer, I think it becomes very like you become an easy target.
Yeah, because you become part of that same umbrella of that
And we
oppressed.
hate to be like हमें कोई अब तो मैं reclaim कर रहा हूँ ना the word खुसरा, but like I feel like growing up कोई मुझे खुसरा कह देता that used to basically be the end of me pretty much.
हाँ,
हालांकि सच ही
obviously.
कह रहे थे झूठ कौन सा. It's like like if I got to do a redo of my life
Hmm.
actually, so I literally अगर कोई मुझे कहता कि आप खुश sounds so weird, पर मैं कहता हाँ मैं हूँ.
हाँ.
Taste it. It's like
No, but the thing is that
तंग तो वो वैसे भी करते थे. बात है कि मेरा ना कहने से कोई फर्क तो नहीं पड़ा.
the
सच ही
only
कह
thing
देता मैं.
is कि उस वक्त कोई ये नहीं पूछता था कि तुम खुश रहे हो. लोग बताते थे तुम खुश रहे हो.
That's true.
The question was, are you a boy or a girl? That was the question.
True. Which is so like इसका कोई क्या जवाब दे आप जो भी जवाब दोगे. This is one of those questions. If you say you're a boy, you're like no, but you like it. You don't act like a boy, and then you're a girl. You're not a girl.
You're not a girl. What you trying,
You're.
girl?
It's like a trap. That's a
It's
trap,
a
literally.
trap. Yeah, so nobody really asked you if you were a khusra. They told you that you were a
नहीं,
khusra.
but they were insinuating ना. I feel like if I was have embraced it, फर्क तो मुझे बाकी बताओ. अगर मैं क्या मुझे मार्च मतलब we went through everything anyway. This is what I think.
Hmm.
उस वक्त you used to think this will be the end of me. कि बस ये ना हो जाए. Not that we necessarily knew, but
मुझे बस ये कि like first then this was one of my questions, like there are so many
yeah,
things that I was wrong about, and I was wrong about how I responded to such questions, or
yeah.
how I maneuvered myself as a kid. Like there's the story that I think I told you, or Rahat bakery wale school I think, and they had like the cake decorating thing, and they had one for the boys side which is decorated with Superman, and they had one for the girls side
So
which when they made Barbie basically. And
yay,
there was like a pink dress or flowers,
girl,
frosting
I know what
flowers
you're
से
talking
decorate
about.
होता था.
I know
So
what
I
you're talking
was,
about.
अब वो बस वो मैं सेंटर सामने खड़ा हुआ था, and my eyes were on the Barbie cake. I was
Of
going to
course.
eat that cake, and I was not going to eat the Superman cake.
No,
And I was
ma'am.
like, and that's what I wanted. But I was so scared that when the cake giving distribution thing happened,
Mm,
I took the Superman cake.
yeah,
There's
I
like some
know.
there are like some stupid things, right? And I was like, I should have just taken the fucking Barbie cake, and then. But the thing is, मुझे इस तरह की situations है ना छोटी मोटी where I feel like I should have just done things to make me happy, and I didn't do them because I
Mm,
was scared. And then I'm like, I can't regret those things, right? Because I was just a kid. Okay, but there is a part of me that does regret them,
yeah,
where I'm
I
like,
get what you're saying.
so that feeling of regret is also like there's this constant dialogue in my head, which is like I regret them, but then I also tell them you can't possibly regret them because it wasn't your fault. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And I feel like it's funny now is, at one point when I was living through these experiences, I feel like उस वक्त I used to cringe at moments where I kind of let it, like I let my guard down, right? And moments where I let my guard down, where I let my like femininity show or whatever.
Femininity.
Or whatever, like with जहाँ मतलब आपने video जहाँ what was an example, like like मुझे किसी ने पूछा था कि what do you want to be, right? So and I बड़े होके क्या बनोगे? And I said अम्मा.
दुल्हन.
तो उस वक्त I think उस वक्त थोड़ी like after a while obviously it felt cringy, but now I look at those moments and I'm so like, yes, bitch.
Yes, bitch, you did that.
I was so like, I was like, that was fabulous.
I'll tell you, there was a time, there was the cringe thing to talk about. I remember my mom, she asked me if we were gonna travel. We were traveling to, we were traveling to England. And she wanted me to try one of her shoes, which were like kind
I
of
already
warm.
know
So
the
she
story.
was like, she told me, it's for the folks at home. So she told me, can you go please try on my gray shoes? And I ran to the closet basically because the gray shoe in my mind was the silver heel.
It had to be, girl.
Obviously, it was
हाँ,
silver heel.
और कौन सा जूता होगा?
मेरे दिमाग में तो और भी वो गंदे गंदे ग्रे शूज
वो तो जूते ही नहीं होते, वो तो बस कचरा है.
और मैंने वो पहने और मैं टक टक करती हुई लाउंज में गई. मैंने कहा ये लो. And it's not just like I just showed up and I just stood there. I stomped. And मैंने stomp किया ना, and मैं जाके here you go. She put her head, like she had her head in her hands, and she was like, oh my god. And then for the longest time I cringed about it, but now I'm just like, yes girl.
Yes, bitch.
That
Yes,
was
yes, girl,
pretty good
work
shoe.
that. Work that shoe. Because I feel like those moments are actually, it's so funny. Like, like the same memory. एक ही टाइम पे हमने उसके बारे में बुरा भी सोचा है और एक ही टाइम अब like now we think of it as it's the same memory and we think
The
it's
thing is,
so
the
like,
moment itself, you enjoyed it, and then you knew better immediately, and then you started hating it, and then you know a little bit better, and you start to enjoy it a little bit more. So there's like a constant evolution of the past. So there's like the regret, and then the not so regret. It just moves hand in hand.
और क्या आपने सीखा है बहन जी?
I mean, I learned a lot about. I think one of the things that changed my life a lot was actually Orange is the New Black. And I remember uske andar ek concept tha about apology and how apologies work. And one of the things that they would usually say in it, because the girl Piper, she's one of those privileged girls, and she doesn't have a whole huge grasp on how society works and how life works. And one of the things that she learns the most, जो वो constantly show में repeat भी होता था, he used to say कि, oh, you're apologizing to just clear your conscience. And that really stuck to me, because in like the prison system over there, they were just like, you can't just apologize for stuff and believe like you've done your part. It's like apologies don't work like that. And that really, like, that was really interesting thing for me also, because there was a time when I was a kid and I used to be like, मैंने तो apologize कर लिया, उसने नहीं मानना तो वो ना माने, I have done my part. Like that was my thing also ना,
जो
कि
सॉरी
अच्छा
मानता है वो बड़ा आदमी होता है
और जो माफ कर देता है उसका दिल बहुत बड़ा होता है।
एक था बड़ा दिल तो दूसरे ने बड़े बड़े दिल
आपका दिल बड़ा है ना भाई साहब। आपका दिल बड़ा है ना भाई साहब, तो माफ किया। It's also like apologizing to yourself for all the shit, and like just like, because the world is not going to apologize to you, so you can also kind of apologize to your past self, and like these are the things that happened to you, and I'm sorry those things happened to you. Like the regret that you feel for, like, I don't know if it's regret or whatever, like maybe like you sympathize with your past self or something, or you like empathize with your past self, or I don't know what the right word is, but that also was something that I had to learn, that like you can't just be super strong all the time and be completely resolved all the time. You have to understand that there are some things that will be unresolved and were sucky. Like, तो ये जो concept है ना, look at where I am now. I have been through so much, and I like
I have found myself. I have found myself. Okay, this is some destination that you reach. It's not like a constant thing.
So that was also like, I was like, no, that doesn't exist. Like,
no, ma'am, no. I remember I turned 18 and I was crying because I said to my mom, "मैं मुझे तो पता नहीं हूँ मैं हूँ कौन? I don't know who I am." I was like 18, I should know. You're like, what kind of person I'm supposed to be? And abhi tak I have no idea. I was like, no
idea. अभी तो तुम सिर्फ 21 हो, सिर्फ 3 साल।
बारी उम्र।
So those are some of the things that I've learned.
So now let's get to the real tea, mama.
Let's go.
Romance.
कुछ भी नहीं सीखा उसमें।
Well, really?
I'm still the same.
No, I think I don't know. I haven't had a journey, girl. I feel like बचपन तो Disney से भरा हुआ था, तो जाहिर है very Disney-esque ideas were there in the beginning. Like प्यार ये होता है, प्यार सब कुछ होता है, by the way. And even though obviously at that point, this is funny, like like especially as like a queer kid, I wonder now. I feel like I don't even remember. But what would I even think? I used to like. I mean, like obviously, I thought I was Princess Ariel.
Oh, I thought I thought you were gonna say that you were Butch.
I was what?
Butch.
वो तो मैं था अभी भी हूँ. लेकिन on top of that, and along with that, I was like Princess Ariel, na? So matlab, I don't know what even though I never thought to myself, okay, I want like a Prince Eric kind of figure. But obviously that's what I wanted, right? I was like, if Prince aega, Prince will come. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like that girl, like that. Like हम मिले, bam, thank you, ma'am. Ursula bitch होगी, वो आएगी हमारी जिंदगी में, और Ursula bitch की तो ऐसी की तैसी, because guy got it going on, obviously.
I got the
तो जो है
hair.
Ursula तो girl बाय हो जाएगी फटाफट, और जो है, and that's it. That's what life is. That's what love is. Long behold, life told me, bitch, you wrong. Ain't no such thing as love.
Okay, that's really interesting. I mean, before you move along with this, I just find it really interesting because I'm trying to remember if I had any concepts of love as a child.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember. I don't know if I ever thought about love or relationships or like being with
that's what I was kind of going with. Okay, like it's funny, like I mean, but I do think subconsciously I definitely felt okay, no, I'm this princess, like which was gonna like get the prince. But but I don't know, like, obviously it never, like, because I didn't really admit it to myself. So, like, I think quite late in life, I kind of, उस point तक तो वैसे ही वो जो है dream का सत्यानाश हो चुका था वैसे ही. जिस point तक, I had the realization, उस point तक वैसे ही it was like, I feel like I'd moved on to the stage. But,
yeah, I feel like I associated with the princess for sure. Like I could relate with the princess.
And the
You
prince
know?
was an integral part of the story. I mean,
Yeah.
let's not get it twisted, right?
Yeah.
So I was very informed by Disney, and Disney, and then later, obviously, Bollywood had a big part
Bollywood.
in it, and then
I was
rom-coms. I
hoping
blame
you
Julia Roberts.
I was hoping you'd get to Bollywood also. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, girl. दिल तो पागल है. I still remember. उसमें it was all about love ना. और I remember कि क्या उसमें क्या bullshit थी उसमें तो बस कि एक आपके लिए बना होता है और बस एक ही है और ये है और वो है.
Oh
And कि वो
God,
आपको
I don't.
इशारे मिलेंगे. एक तो फिर जिंदगी में हर जगह आपको इशारे ही मिलते हैं. उसके बाद आप जो नहीं भी इशारा होता था आप उसको भी इशारा समझ लेते हैं. And then you're like ये मैंने क्या सोचा था.
So that is something I've learned. The science thing that I've definitely learned.
Like
Yeah.
the romanticism basically of like the signs.
Yes.
That's a sign, girl. It's an omen. I found the one. He probably don't even know your name, girl. He's like, ye kaun hai? Anyway, so chalo pehle ही हुआ. Then I went to this stage of like, life love is not important. Like के बस जो एक चीज जरूरी है जिंदगी के अंदर वो है success, right?
Okay.
Because obviously I think love was not a realistic option for me also at this point, right?
What age are we talking here?
We're talking like 18-ish,
Okay.
18, 19, right? Which sounds so weird, but also was the age where you're like literally thinking that love is a possibility. Also, I was literally like, love is not a possibility.
I think for me, I was the opposite. Like that is when I actually started getting into like 17, 18. 17, maybe 18. I was like really getting into I mean, I had crushes my entire life. वो ऐसी बात नहीं है, but like I never knew that they were crushes. I just thought they were like friend crushes and you just wanted to hang out. But like 17, 18, I was really getting into like the romance of things, picking up signals or signs or like
meant to be, girl.
Is this like a meant to be kind of a situation? Like, are we like vibing right now? Like text का जवाब 12 बजे 12 रात के 12 बजे अगर एक दो text share हो गए तो हो गया तो thing ना बस अब तो हो गया. That's what I started getting into at that age. But you were saying it might be opposite. Go ahead.
It was like in my like I don't know. I guess maybe I was so focused at that age and at getting shit done. Like basically, I thought कि मेरी जिंदगी का solution ये है कि finally it'll be okay for me to be gay if I turn out to be a fashion designer. That can be the only justice in this whole situation.
That was the only dream also, na?
That was it, na? It was like okay, देखो इतना रुले हम सिर्फ इसलिए हैं ताकि we can be a fabulous fashion designer, right?
Of course. How was the romanticism of life also? Love be and life be also.
तो वो उस वक्त फिर पॉइंट ये था जिंदगी का. So there was like a romance, love तो कुछ नहीं होता. Then although I feel like I still held on to it. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't hold on to it. It was more like a thing like abhi important nahi hai, right? Then it got into this stage, which I feel like is the worst stage, which is this is the low point, where I felt like, okay, हो सकता है कोई हो वहाँ, like maybe there's somebody out there, right? And this is a mixture. I feel like this is a mixture of like all these romantic Disney Bollywood ideas plus also like hookup culture coming in. And then I was like, हो सकता है वो कहीं बाहर हो, but he's like probably doing it with a lot of people, right? And I cannot be entering into a relationship with that one. Like as a virgin, right? So like I need to do shit. I need to get it done. And then then you're in this zone कि okay,
क्या हुआ? I'm
क्या
going for a Samira pizza thing now.
जो होना था वो हो गया, वो हुआ भी और नहीं भी हुआ. But let's just put it that way. कि it was not meant to be. Let's just say that. So, but basically, I feel like I didn't have enough faith in what I wanted. Is what I think, which is actually like kind of like my idea of what love is, right? I felt like I wasn't deserving of it almost. Is where I felt like, okay, like I should basically make I should follow what society tells you is what you should be, right? Or what love is. And I feel like it's like, and I feel like now I've finally feel like if it's meant to be, it's okay, and if it's not meant to be, it's also okay. But if it's meant to be, it should be what I want.
That which is
And
making
it's
me
okay.
think,
That's okay.
like, what I'm getting from this is, a lot of so many important things of our life we base on other people's narratives, na? Like the Disney
Yeah.
narrative, and then the Bollywood narrative, and then
Yeah.
and then the LGBT narrative that's like happening in the West right now. So a lot of things, you read other people's stories and you think that the same thing is going to happen to you, but unfortunately, honey, they're not. You have your own story, or wo apne time
And
pe
it's
enjoy
okay.
karo.
You can be one.
Which
You can
is
be one of a kind, right? That's
exactly,
the
which is why it's important that your story is also put out there, like, because every story is different. So,
yeah.
so you have to kind of know कि हाँ, like, you have to basically one thing that you also learn is कि दूसरों की स्टोरियों पे इतना नहीं बिलीव करते कि हाँ उसके साथ हुआ तो मेरे साथ भी हो जाएगा, नहीं मैच नहीं होगा। तो एंड में मिलेंगे, लेकिन बात ये है कि लुली मिले है और तो कुछ नहीं मिले
पर लुल मिला है कि नहीं वो तो
लुल भी नहीं मिले है।
लुल भी नहीं मिला है। That's okay actually. वैसे लुल जरूरी नहीं है।
Okay. Do
अच्छा।
you think that a lot of the things that you worried about as a child and spent too much time worrying about, that you kind of had to go through that anxiety to come out this way?
Hmm.
Or was it something that could have been avoided?
I'm thinking, what did I think of as a child first?
It doesn't have to
So
be a
my
child, just it could be like something like 2-3 years ago, maybe, or maybe like 5 years ago or something.
yeah, I would say if they're saying 5 years ago, for sure. Yeah, I had to okay, let's just say for the okay, when we're talking about the romance thing, at that point in time, it was a big major crisis in my life. I'll just say
Hmm.
that it was a major crisis in my life because I had thought to myself, okay, at one point it was not important. Then at one point I was like, okay, I've missed out, and then it was very
Hmm.
important for me. And then the crisis was kind of like this confusion. Okay, कि जो मुझे दुनिया कह रही है वो is at odds with what I feel like I want and I deserve.
Hmm.
And I think going through what I did, which is a long story, but going through what I
उसके लिए
did,
एक और check.
I feel like for me that was the only way, unfortunately, that I could have actually learned. Which is
Hmm.
why, by the way, मुझे एक चीज़ बड़ी मज़े की लगती है, I feel like that's very relevant to this topic. I feel like a lot of people I mean, there's no better example coming to my head, so I'm gonna say his name, but like Imran Khan, for example, who
Hmm.
have lived their life a certain way, right?
Hmm.
मतलब आप जो भी उसको कह रहे हैं, I don't like the word, but like playboy life कह लो या जो भी, like a certain kind of life, right? And then after one point, they kind of advocate a very different kind of life in the sense that they, and I don't know if Imran Khan really does that, but that's the image sometimes that is portrayed. Like he wants prohibitions on certain kinds of behavior, which he may have participated in, for example, right?
Hmm.
Allegedly. And I feel like he might be even valid in thinking कि okay, ये चीजें नहीं होनी चाहिए, या मतलब वो सही conclusion पे पहुंचे अपनी जिंदगी के लिए, लेकिन जिसको वो रोकने की कोशिश कर रहा है, that person will never understand until they make the mistake themselves.
Yes.
Like the people should be allowed to make these mistakes, and maybe it's not a mistake for them. It might just be the right thing for them in any case, right? But a lot of people feel like, and I've seen, because I was reading, I told you I was reading this novel, Raja Gid. It's by
Hmm.
Banu Qudsiya, and Banu Qudsiya was Ashfaq Ahmed's wife. And
Hmm.
Ashfaq Ahmed and Banu Qudsiya had a love marriage. And
Hmm.
in and I was watching an interview of her, and she I would say, from what I've read of the novel so far, it's very critical of love, of non-platonic love.
Hmm.
And she also was not exactly very is not in favor of so-called love marriages, because क्योंकि उनकी अपनी love marriage हुई थी, and because of that they ended up being estranged from their own families, and they suffered a lot through that,
Oh
right?
shit. Okay. Hmm.
So she was kind of like, like मैं अगर मैं किसी को मतलब कि she was almost portraying this idea कि नहीं करना चाहिए ये चीज, love marriage नहीं करनी चाहिए, you should not follow your heart's desire, and kind of that. But to that effect, some effect, she was saying that, even though Ashfaq Ahmed wrote lots of romantic novels.
She was more of like the let's be real kind of a thing.
Let's be real kind of a thing, and like मैंने आजमाई भी बात है कि मेरे लिए didn't work out, right? Okay, I suffered through that. It was kind of it was along those lines, right? And I felt like, okay, I don't understand why is she advocating this a mistake अगर उसको लग रही है कि वो गलती थी, right? She's saying कि वो लोगों को allowed नहीं होनी चाहिए करने को, या मतलब ये माशरे को allow नहीं करना चाहिए इस behavior को, right? Why is she advocating that? Because उन लोगों ने फिर भी शायद वही करना है वो कह रहे लोग फिर भी लव मैरिज तो करेंगे ही, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता ना करें, वो गलती करेंगे ही. And I feel like people can only learn through that.
Yeah,
if
but
that
I think
is true.
I mean, but I also feel like everyone wants to feel like they want to say their piece, especially if they feel like they're about to go.
Yeah, because I feel like it's that idea that, you know, if I went through something, then there must be a reason why. This romanticizing suffering basically is what it is. Like, aajkal corona ka bhi people are like, there must be a reason why we're going through corona, right?
हाँ, but trust girl, हमने भी तो मतलब आप यही कर रहे हैं उसका. I think we have enough for today. I think we like gave a lot. Gave the people what they wanted. We've given it to them.
We've given way
And that I think. Do you think it about wraps it up for this episode of Pani ka Pocha, or do you want to like spill some more tea?
For another episode, let's just keep it like that, you know.
Okay.
बातें तो मेरे पास कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाली.
I know, girl, and I got more questions for you. Don't worry. All right, so I'm gonna stop the record button, and then we can just talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How do you?
Do you want to do an outro though?
No. Do you? What would we do?
I don't know, but I don't even know what we're doing. अच्छा मैं ये तो बंद करूँ ना फिर.
Maybe good.